DaddeeCraft. We are in the testing grounds. We are avoiding working on redstone related things by building something. We're in the testing grounds doing work on the testing grounds instead of doing work in the testing grounds. Makes more sense to me. Well, buckle up. We are I'll take you through the process of what I've been doing here. I've been making the aquarium floors like I was saying. One thing I need to do that I didn't think about when I started, which made my ceiling one block shorter than I intended it to be, is that when you're making a ceiling out of water, you need to be sure to double layer the base block so that it doesn't leak everywhere. Okay, we're done with that. Now we just need to get some fish, but first I need to get some wood. Because in bedrock, we can't use TNT, right? Because it will explode everything. Unlike TNT in Java, which doesn't destroy things. So you're stuck using an axe to cut down your trees no matter how you grow them. So I could make a fancy contraption that pushes the trees around after I grow them with bone meal. I could do that, and I debated a long time doing it. But in the end, you're stuck with a giant block of wood you have to cut with your axe anyway. And you have to use a lot of bone meal, which we have plenty of bone meal, so that's not a problem. But, you have to use bone meal, you have to design the whole system, you have to use the pistons, you have to use all the equipment for that. Hey, little chicken. What I've been doing, and this has kind of convinced me not to make one of those. I have this area here. This is my this is birch, right? I have my birch area here because we're in a birch forest in Dragon City here. What I do is I overplant it with saplings, so I don't really have to worry about it in terms of planting saplings and keeping it populated. Then I just run around, and as the trees grow, I cut them down. I don't even need to bring bone meal. At first I brought bone meal, but I found in the time it takes for me to cut down a tree, or two, or three, in this 1.5 chunk area, enough trees grow. And when I pause to throw some saplings down, that gives the trees plenty of time to grow. And then I go sleep at night. And this is the first beehive we've gotten, actually. So I had recorded the previous clip, and it was without any gameplay audio, and then my next clip, the music audio, was beating my voice out. So now hopefully we have an okay mix here. I did finish that other floor and didn't get a recording of it, so I'm going to take you through. This is the next floor up. I just finished this up, so we'll fill this one up with water and go catch the fish. We already put the fish down there. And if I haven't shown you, I definitely expanded the forest of chorus fruit. The job's not done, but I haven't made a redstone farm, which would make the job easier. I intend to spam cactus over on the other side, and we have a cactus farm that's working, and that's making things a lot easier than running around and shooting chorus fruit your bow and arrow. However, we're slowly getting everything done. You can see the elevators are working here. And this is what it looks like when you've got a floor and a ceiling as an aquarium. And the light effect is working on the glass, but only on this floor. We need one more layer of glass here, otherwise we're going to get dripped on. And I really do. It's 119 is the update that we're on now. It just happened today. I don't know if it's my imagination or not, but the lighting seems better, but the render distance is still terrible compared to what it used to be. I miss being able to see the buildings in the background I used to be able to see. It makes me want to I don't know. It just makes I just wish we had a better render distance so I could see the buildings in the background that I built. I used to be able to see the lava temple here from out there. I used to be able to see the lava temple from all the way out Cat Village. So it's sad. Maybe I'll download a backup copy of the world and do a video tour of that so you can see it with a better render distance. But still, no, I don't think that works either anymore, because you used to be able to set the render distance further in your own world than you could in the realm. But I think now it's all locked at 8 or 9. It's a shame too, because the iPad Pros can definitely do a better render distance than the other iPads, but that's all it gives you now. Okay, we'll make some more orange glass. You know, I never thought I'd be making this much orange glass. An orange building isn't the first thing I'd think to make. But I had all the orange terracotta, and I wanted to build in the desert, and orange is a great color. It goes really good with the yellows. Do I miss using an Electra? No, not really. I don't really miss using an Electra. I'm getting a lot better views of things without an Electra. And I think the world is a lot prettier to look at when you're not just staring at rooftops. It also hasn't really affected my building. I've just used more scaffolding. I think that actually, having the scaffolding on hand, it probably has affected my building, but in a positive way, because I haven't been afraid to stop and, you know, build off at levels and start messing with things and fixing things I normally would have left alone, because I would have been flying up and down, working from bottom to top, and just flying up to the top of the build and continuing from there. So I'm noticing more and seeing more as I'm going along, which is causing me to stop and fix things as I go. It doesn't look any better necessarily, but everything's a lot more the way I want it to be in terms of the initial build. So I'm not going to have as much to go back and correct later. I'll be able to focus on texturing, but I don't know what to do for texturing for this build, to be honest with you. towers and skyscrapers. Well, the towers are easier when they're smaller because I can accent the windows. Here the accents are almost the honey elevators, right? Maybe there's some other way to add to that, though. I don't really want to use sandstone walls or fencing because the sandstone itself isn't as smooth as the birch. I could use some birch, just make some birch fence, right? Birch fencing, or maybe even birch fence gates even. I should experiment with both to see what looks better. Maybe see if I can outline the support sections that are all made of birch anyway. Or maybe outline them with something darker or slightly different. It's too bad they don't make a quartz fence or a quartz wall. Okay, now that we've got the double let's go to sleep. Now that we've got the double floor, we can put a wall up and surround it with water. And Dash is off visiting her grandparents, so we are building alone for this episode. But I did want to come check out the 119 update, and in terms of our game, it doesn't add anything necessarily, but I just like to see what it adds in terms of how the game plays. I'm not going to go off and find whatever the new mobs are. And I'm not going to go find the deep dark. I might explore with Dash later when she gets back. But I really don't have any inclination to go out exploring on my own. And she said she wanted to focus on Hilltop for a while. I don't know if she's going to want to go. She said she was A-okay with leaving the warden alone. And she didn't really want one of the new mobs. I don't think she really cared for it that much. So I think both of us are okay in terms of that. Maybe later on I'll make a boat with a chest in it at some point, but not for this episode. We're working on the tower here. And I did have, I've been playing in DaddeeCraft, which has the smooth glass, but it wasn't loading on the Realm, so I just took the texture pack off, and this is just the vanilla texture pack. So it makes the tower look a little different than how it looks, by design and the way I wanted it to look. Okay, we are recording. But I don't mind it. Still looks okay. We need to get water now. I need buckets for that. And we'll need water, but the other thing we'll need is tropical fish. Okay, that's as many as I can hold. God, I need everything for this build. Oh, ended up inside. I thought about using shulker boxes and I thought I wouldn't need them. I'd just grab things as I need them. I'm gonna have to start getting used to using shulker boxes. And maybe go back into the end and grab a couple more Electra and a couple more shulker boxes. I wanted to stay out of the end, to be honest with you, until they update the end again. I think that's probably a good idea, to stay out of the end until they update it, because I think the next update is going to be the end. I think 120 is going to be an end update. Maybe not. Maybe that's too ambitious. Maybe they want to take a break for a while, but I really think that 119 was the break of an update. I also think the community complains too much about the updates. I've been unhappy about the updates, not because of what they're not giving us, but I would rather go back to 117 with the increased render distance. And I would gladly hand my spyglass back, which is about the only thing I've been using from 118. But that's just me. It's not really a hard complaint, though. I'm super happy with everything that they do, Mojang and Microsoft. I'm happy that, they haven't let the game die, and that they pay so much attention to the game, and that they've invested so heavily in the game. A lot of the time people complain about, corporate takeovers or this or that, but I think Minecraft's, there's a store for it, and you can buy texture packs and things like that, but, you can also become a creator. So I think it's not really a bad thing the way they've done it. Thank God they didn't turn it into a free-to-play game and monetize every step you take and every block you use. So, and they're still giving, it's at a great price for the amount, they don't charge for updates, and they give it a whole lot of love. So I love watching the water fill in as you move along here. Right about here. So I really, I'm not going to complain too much even about the render distance going away. I just need a more powerful system to play on. Right now I just play on an iPad Pro. That's what I can afford. I need to just be happy that it still runs. There we go. Almost done. We need to fill in these corners here. Don't autofill. Once we get to that corner there, we need a little bit more water. There we go. Fills in then we just need to put a birch ring around it. And a glass top. I was thinking next, it's funny because we've done all this work on the testing grounds. I was thinking about making the testing grounds high tech, and instead of clearing out space when you want to build something to test, that was my initial plan, is you get to, when you you take an area over in the testing ground when you need to test something, and you get to knock all the chorus fruit out, and then you build something. That was my initial plan. So you'd have this forest with little tests scattered left and right. But it's not that big of an area, and after a couple of tests, there's going to be huge holes in the horizon, and I love the way that the chorus fruit looks over the horizon when you're in Eskeltown. That's one of the reasons I filled it in. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create floating platforms that our jets are keeping afloat. I'm going to have to learn how to build little jet engines. And then we can have floating platforms that jets are keeping afloat. And on those will be and those can float over the chorus fruit. And on those, we could have the different tests. But how are we going to get up on those if we're not using an Electro? I might have to rethink this. See, I put the forest field in and I fell in love with it. And now I don't want to knock any of it out to put the tests in that I wanted to, that I built the whole area for. It's called the testing grounds. It's going to be the anti-testing grounds, or the no testing here grounds, or the tests over there grounds. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to finish this build first before I worry about it, because that's future Daddy's problem. I'm going to cover this up, and then we'll leave one hole open on it. And we'll go out and get the fish for it. One of the things I really do like about the testing ground area is the way it looks at night. I think if I were to make an area like this in the future, though, I'd want to have more sea lanterns. That way I could just bury them, or maybe even bury redstone lamps and put carpet over them. Or even half slabs, since half slabs emit light. Not as janky as carpets to use, if you use half slabs, it looks respectable. Carpet can be knocked off real easy. Oh, and you're exposing your light. It's like accidentally flashing the Queen of England, exposing your light in Minecraft. I do like a good hidden lighting. I hate to light places. I would rather deal with mobs than to spam light a place up with torches and then go back and knock the torches out. And sometimes I do have to spam light a place with torches, and it burns me because then you have to go back and knock them all out as you're doing the other lighting for it. But I can't really work lighting into a build all the time without... Well, the UFO I worked lighting into the build perfectly. Not sure. I don't always think of lighting when I'm thinking of a build. This build, I thought of the lighting in the bottom. I thought, the experimentation was that would it shine all the way up to the top. Obviously it doesn't, but I'm making it spawn proof for the most part. I'm going to have to, at the top, I'm going to have to line the birch wood with carpet in order to make sure that nothing spawns on top, so we don't get any drop creepers. But besides that, nothing's going to spawn on the glass. I feel like they've updated the textures for the water. Maybe it's just I haven't played with the vanilla texture pack for so long that everything looks new to me. And then I watch a lot of YouTube Minecraft videos, and a lot of that is Java, not Bedrock. And I guess now if you own or buy Java or Bedrock, you get the other one for free if it's on Windows. If you're on iOS or Android, then you still just get what you paid for. And no complaints from me again. We have gotten our $7 out of this game, and the monthly fee for a realm for the two of us is not very expensive. It's about $4 a month. And that gives us both access to the world, and it keeps our world backed up, which is important for us because it's a 3-year-old world at this point. And the show's going to be 3 starting in January, but we've been playing in the world for 3 years, pretty much. I'd say sometime this week was the beginning of the survival world. My daughter spawned in, and she ran basically the course of the Great Road, which is the railroad tracks behind me. And she cut through a village, stole a couple things, and then kept going. Found a savannah and settled down there, and that's where her original house is, where the tree house is now. And that is just beyond the shopping district there, which is the glow in our distance. We only had one controller then, so she started out in survival normal, and then we set it to peaceful for a little while at some point. We stayed in survival normal for a while. Then we'd rock it between survival normal and peaceful. And then what happened was, as we were doing that, if you remember the episode where, if you've watched any of other episodes, there's an episode where it's called The Great Crash, I think, or at some point I refer to us losing our save file, and what actually happened was when we changed from peaceful to normal at some point, or from normal to peaceful, cheats got enabled or something like that. But when that happens, achievements get turned off. So we played with achievements turned off for a couple of weeks without realizing it. So we had to go find a backup where achievements were still turned on and cheats hadn't been activated. Found that backup, reinstated the world, and I lost the original storage spot that I had made. And I had lost all the work on the lava temple, covering it in quartz. I really got myself stuck here. There we go. So I had to re-get the lava We did lava temple, the quartz for the lava temple, and we did use, that's when I used a duping glitch to get some of that back. So we have definitely duped in our world, but you know what? Over in Hermitcraft, it's my favorite YouTube series in the world, so I wouldn't make fun of it, but that's too funny. Over in Hermitcraft, they're using duping for TNT, so me duping to get back, stuff that I lost due to an accident didn't seem like a huge deal to me. As the server admin, or the realm admin, I figured it was in my right to make that call. So we got that back. I remade the storage center, and I made it twice as big and twice as nice, at least. So it was a blessing in disguise, because it really lit a fire under my butt to make it good. And we need to walk the rest of the way. We're going to 117 land. That's where the tropical fish are. And this is the reason we need to walk the rest of the way. I trapped a dude here, and I keep forgetting to bring a boat by. He was actually originally trapped in the shopping district and got free. And he ended up all the way over here. He chased me all the way over here, and I finally trapped him. We are here to jump in the water to get fish. Okay, I always keep a weapon handy because there's always a zombie or two, or a drowned, I guess they call them. And let's just catch the first ones we get. I was trying to get orange ones at first, but then I realized that orange ones against the orange glass probably don't blend out the best. Then I got sick of trying to find a color that would work, and I just started grabbing whatever, and since then I've just been grabbing whatever, and that seems to have been working, and I try to swim away from that. Drowned as much as possible because we have enough tridents. These guys are kind of nice looking. Purple and yellow blend there. Okay, let me catch my breath, grab some water. Grab this guy. Get back here. Okay. I got another drowned on me already. Okay, let's just swim over here and make some more room here. Try not to get beat up by a drowned. Where is he? Okay, let's just grab this fish. Oh, there's some more over there. Oh, there he is. Let's just ignore him and grab fish. Oop. Didn't mean to throw an ender pearl. I liked those red ones with the white. That might show up good. I had an entire floor. The floor below this one that we're doing now is entirely full of blue fish. Light and dark blue colors. And I swear when I was catching them they weren't all blue, but when I was putting them down they certainly were. I lost all the audio for those clips though, so. The beginning of this episode doesn't have audio. Doesn't have gameplay audio. I just used a bit of it anyway to show my progress point. I just covered it up by using the intro track. Okay, we get enough fish. I'm gonna die if I don't eat something though. Okay, now I should be able to regain some more health. See, that's what I do instead of spamming torches now. I put a fence post down before I put the torch down. It tends to look a little classier. Some areas I'll do that and keep it that way. I forgot about him. And keep it that way if it's an area that, is meant to be old school, where they're using torches for lighting still. And I even did that a bit when I got sick of putting up street lights in the testing grounds. I started throwing those up, and I put those up in areas where street lights wouldn't really fit along with the amount of coarse fruit I had. I like to decorate this area and here, maybe get rid of that floating island and put something floating on the lava. Maybe a little floating structure on the lava there, and then I was thinking maybe even some houses off to the sides. So you're just kind of run down houses like the place used to be normal. Just along the areas where I have railroad tracks. I mean, that's the one place in the Nether, that's the one that we really use, the fast travel point we use to go between our main world here and Dragon City, which is where the Ender Gate is, and it's where 117 land is, which is a new area where the warm coral beaches, and that's where we go to get tropical fish. And it's where we could go to get coral. I haven't gone to get any coral there yet. I don't want to destroy the reefs there, so I don't want to take any from there. And I don't have a reason to take it. And if I needed any, I think I would probably find another area to take it from at this point. We were waiting till 119 for the Deep Dark to do any more exploring in the overworld. Now that it's here, I don't think they're going to really do any more updating to the overworld for a while. I think they're going to work on the end next, and then there's going to be a new dimension. You access through the ancient city. So I think they're going to expand the end, and then we're going to get a new dimension, and I think that the Nether is finally done. I think the overworld updates are finally done, and yeah, for the most part, maybe some tweaking here and there. This is all just speculation. But I've heard some other people on YouTube say similar things, so it's not completely unfounded. And I'm just going off of what they've done so far in terms of the updates, what they've been working on. they've slowly been working on, different parts of expanding the overworld in terms of, they started with the aquatic updates and, underwater, and they've slowly been expanding everything until they got to the caves and cliffs, where they really expanded even, the way everything is even generated and where everything is, even where you mine things from. But now they've done that. They've updated the Nether, and I don't think they're going to touch that again. And they've definitely told us that there's a new dimension coming, but they said they're not going to work on it till they're finished working on things here. The only other thing I can think of in terms of the overworld is they want to do biomes. And there we have it. 4 floors. I really only needed a shack to sleep in, and we built this. Now we need to put in the elevators. We can take all the scaffolding down. Yeah, they're gonna do some biome work, they said, though, right? So I guess I've proven myself wrong right away, because they're definitely gonna do some biome work. So they'll add biomes. See, that's the thing, is when you have a world that you want to keep, I want to just be in this one world. And we don't have a world editor, right? Because we just play on the tablets. So we really need to be careful of how much we explore, because the further we go out and explore, the further we have to go out and explore more if we need to go find a new feature. It's almost better for us to hold on to some gems and wait for the trader to come to us with whatever new features that they have intact for the updates. And there are some new features you can't, the trader doesn't bring to you, and you just have to go out and get, right? So it's hard. I'm always trying not to explore, even though exploring is fun. I don't want to explore our world into this massive world where we have to travel 2,000 blocks in the Nether just to get to new terrain when they add something new to the world. So it's always it's an equation. Although I do like being a homebody anyway. I'm having a lot of fun staying next to our main build and adding to the horizon, because then you end up with things like this. You end up with the testing grounds, which is its own new village now, which started out as just kind of an area to mess around in, and then I started trying to, make it a good background for Eskeltown. And then we needed a place to sleep out here, so we built this. And now we have a new town, and I'll make sure all the buildings I build in this new town are tall enough so that it becomes the horizon for Eskeltown. Although, with the render distance the way it is, I'm not sure you're going to see much more than an outline of any of these buildings anyway. So maybe this is the only one you'll really see as you zip by in a minecart on your way to the shopping grounds. Who knows? I'm having fun though. I had a lot of fun making an aquarium out of the floors. And I think it's a much better idea than making an aquarium out of the wall, like we had talked about doing to begin with. I like the floor aquarium idea. And I think it turned out nice. I like the lighting, the way the lighting turned out. A lot better than the absolute first thing, if you've seen that episode, the first thing I started with. That diner, black, white. I like this ghost effect, this. And that's all done through lighting. This is all orange glass. That's all the same color glass. It's just the lighting from the floor below us reflecting properly, which is impressive. I think it's the one thing that Render Dragon does well, because it reduces our render distance, and that's not even reducing our render distance. It's actually having increased block width space in terms of our y-axis below us and above us. There's more rendering below us and above us, so it renders less circumference-wise. Anyway, that's enough complaining about that. I'll wait till the next episode to complain more about the render distance. I am going to put in the honey elevator next. Let's work on the 4th floor one together. Okay, I swear this is the one place that looks better at night instead of during the day for Minecraft. This is how I'm doing the honey elevator. I kind of build it up to the ceiling, and then I crash through the fish tank floor. That guy there really doesn't want to live. He keeps getting in there. There he goes. Okay. And then I make the columns, and then I break one of the tops, and I dig all the way down. Let's see here. We're going to need kelp and water. This was the original cement maker. I made it over here just to test out the idea I had for it. And then I altered a few things based upon the mistakes I made with it here. And that is the first thing I built in the testing grounds. And ever since that, I've come over here to mess around and test out theories and ideas. It's my little myth-busting area in Minecraft. I use it a lot just to test out like minor things, to see if there's any differences in things that I've learned from watching people play in Java. Because oftentimes there is a big difference in what I'm watching. Because my favorite YouTubers play in Java, and then I play in Bedrock, so it's always different. Not always, but some things are. So coming over here to test out the differences, although the next thing that we're going to test out, the next big thing that I'm procrastinating about, is the mob elevator. And I really don't want to deal with that because building it once was a hassle. And I'm having a lot more fun being creative building the testing grounds tower than testing actual stuff. Okay, we'll lay our next water there so I don't have to deal with it again. And we can just lay kelp coming all the way up. And after doing this 3 other times, I've kind of got it down. The one thing I do need to do, though, is go into the basement here at some point and make it clear. And I'm not going to do that this episode. We're going to just finish up the elevator here and call it an episode. Because I think an hour is the longest I'm willing to go. But I did want to do, every now and then I do like doing a type of a live streamish type episode where we just kind of kick back, relax, and build together. And you can kind of see how I build and what I do. And I know I didn't, you're going to have to start from my previous episode to see how I started. And I kind of just snapped the foundation up. It's a 10 by 10 foundation. I basically just went 10 blocks sideways. Then went 10 blocks diagonal using one of the blocks that was already in existence for the corner. And I did that for all 8 sides. And I think my next tower, the diagonal corner, is going to be a little shorter than the straight sides. So this one was 10 by 10. I think my next one, if the straight sides are going to be 10, I think 10 by like, I don't know. See, 4 by 3 really worked well. 5 by 4 worked well, I think. I don't know if 10 by 8 would work well, or 10 by 9. Maybe I'm better off going up to 12 and doing 12 by 10. That might be a better ratio. That's it. That's how we do the that's how we do the tower here. The elevators, and we're done. And I already have the slime pad drop off here, so we just need to get rid of this final scaffolding. Fun to watch it bounce, huh? Okay. There we have it, all the way up to the 4th floor. Put an awning up on this. There we go. Get rid of that honey block there, huh? Anything else? You can kind of see. Can you see the pyramid? Not really. You can definitely make out the beginning of Cat Village. Need to expand the shopping district here. Not looking bad though. I'll jump over here and sleep before we get creepered. It's a lot brighter down here, huh? I don't know what to do about that. I mean, it's all creeper proof except for the roof, the top of the building. We'll get up there later. I'll get up there later when I have more carpet. Let's take a look at it over here though. Okay, yeah, it's already starting to slip render. There we go. Okay. Yeah, the birch really works well with the orange. I'm really glad I used the birch with the orange instead of acacia, because instead of it being an orange pimple sticking out of the sky, it subdues it a lot. And then the honey brings in the orange anyway. Yeah, that's a nice combination. I really don't know how to blend that anymore or what to do to texture it. I think it's probably, dare I say, it's textured enough. I'll have to think of it if there's anything I really want to do. I'm too much of an amateur to figure out a good way to add any of, I mean, how much texturing does a skyscraper normally get anyway? I know it's not the tallest skyscraper in the world, but I don't really go all that high up anyway. I like to keep everything visible. Okay, stop me before I talk about render distances again. But I do. I like to keep, I don't want to, just because it's skyscrapers that go up so high that you can't see them don't really make sense to me. Okay, I want to talk about render distance. Why would you sacrifice my render distance just to give me build height I don't need? Anyway, I do appreciate my aquarium ceilings and my aquarium floors. It's like those 1970s fish tank high heels, only in a building format. Can you imagine the water damage if one of these broke in real life? I guess that's why they don't exist in real life. Anyway, that's going to be the episode for what was this? 57 of DaddeeCraft. Thanks for coming along. We have built a skyscraper in the testing grounds. We have officially christened a new area with a new building, and the glass is see-through. Interesting. We have magical glass in our hand. It's always good to have magical glass in your hand, especially when it lets you see through the haze. So thanks for coming along with us. Until next time, keep the magical glass in your hand. See you next time.